One of the core and famous line of J. Krishnamurti is when the observer is the observed. When I read this for the first time, I was a bit confused, like who is observer and what is observed, and so on. But this is very interesting and deep. So basically, this whole universe can be divided into two Sanskrit words. First one is jeev, and the second one is jagat. Jeev means the individual itself, the one who sees, think, and feel. That is the so-called observer. Jagat means the world, everything around you which you observe, like society, nature, people, even your thoughts and emotion. Now, in most of our everyday experience, we think these two things are separate. I am here observing that thing over there. I observe, and that thing, that thought, that feeling is observed. But J. Krishnamurti challenged this very separation. He say when the observer is the observed. They sound paradoxical, but it's not. When you observe the anger inside you, you normally say I'm angry. Here you, the observer, watching anger, the observed. But is that anger is separate from you, or you are the very process of anger in that moment? Krishnamurti point out to a truth that the observer is not separate from what he observes. When you observe a feeling, a thought, that thought is you. There is no duality there. The separation is an illusion created by this thinking mind. Another example he takes is of a tree. Let's say you see a tree and you want to observe it. When you start observing, when you start thinking about it, there is a movement of thought, and that movement of thought create conflict and division, because in that movement of thought the memory come into play. So what you say is not the truth, rather it's the image of that thing which you have created in your memory in the past. So basically you, the observer, is not separate from what you are observing. You are the conditioning itself, not observing the truth. And this is where the idea of jeev and jagat dissolves. When jeev truly observes without any judgment, without any analysis, then he realizes that he is not separated from the jagat itself. And then the boundary between the inner and outer start to fade. And in that moment of pure awareness, the observer is observed. And if you go one step more, then you come across this famous statement, that is Aham Brahmasmi. That is, I am the Brahm and the Brahm is inside me. And there is no separation between the jeev and the jagat.